Hola mi gente, it's August and we're back again with another recipe. Now today is a very special day for y'all because I'm showing you not one, but two very easy recipes to make. That's right, I'm showing you two because the first one is just too easy. So I'm going to give you 2 for 1. I'm going to give you 2 recipes in one video. Now, these 2 recipes are traditionally Cuban, but you'll see them all over the Caribbean. They're also vegetarian. As y'all know, if y'all been following me, I've been on a little vegetarian kick lately. And so I'm going to show you how to make Cuban black beans. And then once those are done, I'm going to show you how to make Congri Negro. Congri Negro is black beans and rice kind of all cooked into the same pot together. Very easy, very simple to make. And so we're going to go ahead and get started with that. Okay, so for these Cuban black beans, you're going to need 1 pound of black beans. I soaked these overnight. That's what I always recommend to do, but if you don't get the chance to do it, you'll still be okay. Just your cook time will be a little bit longer. I'm cooking a pound. I usually cook a pound at a time and freeze some because I can always use some later because black beans are just so universal in so many different recipes. So I just make a pound at a time, and if I have a lot of leftovers, I'll just freeze them. Okay, you're also gonna need 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon. Now you can use the cubes or the bouillon powder, but I've actually started using the Better Than Bouillon brand that you can find right by the stocks and broths in the grocery store. And for me, this just tastes so much better. And so 1 teaspoon of that or of bouillon powder, if that's all you have. You're going to need 2 bay leaves, 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes or red chili flakes, 1 teaspoon of adobo, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder and 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, and then 1/2 of a bell pepper. I have green, but you can really use any color, and 1/2 of an onion. I have a yellow onion here. Now the bell pepper and onion you do not need to chop up. You can leave them whole just like this because that's how we're going to throw them into the cooker. It's that much simple. I'm going to be using my Instant Pot to cook black beans, so it's going to go a little bit faster. But you can easily use a slow cooker or even a pot on the stove. Just if you use those options, the cook time is going to be a little bit more towards 4 to 6 hours. Here's my black beans. Like I said, I rinsed them, sorted them, make sure there are no rocks or anything, and soaked them overnight. And then I drained the water that it soaked in. So now I'm just going to throw this into the pot. Now, for the amount of water you use is going to differ. I usually fill it up until it's about 1 inch above the black beans. So let me measure out these cups and I'll be able to tell you exactly how many cups of water I used. Alright, here's what it looks like with the water. For 1 pound of black beans, I used 6 cups of water. Now, since this is an Instant Pot, I won't have to worry about the water anymore. But if you're cooking it in a slow cooker or on the stove, you will have to repeatedly come back and check the water level and just kind of see how much of the water has brought out, and you may have to add some more to prevent your beans from getting dry. Now for the seasoning, we are not going to add all the seasonings in right now. The reason being is that if you put salt into beans before they're cooked, it can actually make them tougher and then therefore make them longer to cook. And so we're not going to throw everything in just now. For the cooking process, all we're going to add into the beans is our 1/2 bell pepper. You can just throw that in there. Our onion. And when you cut the onion, try to leave the root on. That way it doesn't shred apart and fall apart in your beans. Especially if you have picky kids that are not going to eat an onion if they see it. This is a way to still get the flavor, but then they don't have to eat the onion. Our bay leaves, which I think I forgot in the ingredients. But you're going to need either 1 big bay leaf or 2 smaller bay leaves. You can just throw that in there. And the chicken bouillon cube powder are Better Than Bouillon. Give me a second, let me go scoop this out. Alright, so that is all our seasonings for right now. The adobo, the garlic and onion powder, the cumin, the red pepper flakes, we're going to add all of that later after it's cooked. And then finally, before we close this up, we're just gonna add a few sprigs of avocado oil, probably about a tablespoon. All right. Going to grab our spoon, just kind of mix it up, get everybody friendly, get that bouillon powder or better than bouillon kind of mixed in there too. You have to flip this bell pepper over so no beans are caught up in there. Just have to do it like that. All right. So now we just close the lid. If you're using the Instant Pot, make sure it's on sealing. And then we're gonna come over and just press the bean chili button. And 30 minutes, that's usually what I do for a full pound. If I'm doing half a pound, I'll usually do 20 minutes. And you're gonna go ahead and it'll just start on its own. Like I said, if you are doing this in a pot on the stove or in a slow cooker, it's gonna take a bit longer. For that, you'll probably need 4 to 6 hours just to let it cook until it's tender. All right, so the timer finished. I just let the pressure naturally release for about 20 minutes. And then I just went ahead and open. Now we're about to open up. And there's a lot of steam. But here are our black beans. All right. So as always, you know, just kind of check for doneness. See how they smash pretty easily. That's how you know that they're done. All right. Now, going forward from here, as far as what to do with the pepper and onions is really up to you. Traditionally, what would be done is that they're taken out and then kind of sauteed in a pan with some of the bean water and even some of the beans. And then mashed up really well and then put back in with everything. I'm not big on that, so I just kind of put them on the side. I know my fiance Chris, he loves onions, and so he can definitely have some onions with his servings. I'm just not the biggest on them. I am a little picky, so I'll just put them to the side. All right, I got most of it out of there. And then also you do want to stir around. Once you find your bay leaf, you will want to remove that. So now we can actually add our seasonings in here. I had mine covered. So your cumin, your adobo, the garlic and onion powder, and then also these red chili flakes. They are optional. If you want to put in how much you want to put. If you're a spicy family and you like that kick, you can put more than half a teaspoon. Unfortunately, I'm a spicy person, but my fiance is not. So I only put half a teaspoon in there for him. And now that is pretty much it. You are done with your black beans. If you're having a big celebration, like you're going to eat all of this right away, you can boil out some of the water to make things a little bit thicker. Since I'm probably going to end up freezing some of mine, I'm going to leave the water in here so that it can just freeze better. And then I can always evaporate some of it later. But these are your black beans. If you want to stop here, you can just serve this over some rice. Maybe with some chicken or pork on the side or something. And then you can save the rest. Now stay tuned and I'm going to show you our second video for, second recipe for this video, Congri Negro. Congri Negro is essentially rice and beans cooked all in one pot together. So you have your black beans, the rice is going to turn out black from the color. You'll see. And it's very simple and easy to make. Alright, so for our Congri recipe, you are going to need 1 cup of rice. It's just regular white rice. I've already rinsed and drained it. 1 cup of the black beans that we just cooked. 1 tablespoon or 1 cube of sofrito. And 2 cups of the black bean stock from when we cooked the black beans, and just a little bit of avocado oil. And that's it. Since we already seasoned the black beans, we won't need to season the congri too much. It'll pretty much be up to your taste your preference. But this is it. Like I said, congri, once the black beans are cooked, is a very simple recipe. Now, technically, you could just use regular canned black beans for the congri if you don't have time to make black beans from scratch. But the final color will be a bit off. It won't come out as dark. And I'll show you what I'm talking about towards the end of the video when everything is cooked. All right, so first take some oil. Just put a little bit in the pan. And this is just going to be to saute our sofrito. Alright, we're going to go ahead and saute the sofrito. And also, once the sofrito melts down pretty good, I'm also going to add about a teaspoon of garlic. I just like garlic, so I want to put that little extra flavor. But that extra teaspoon of garlic is going to be completely optional. Alright, my sofrito's in there. Let my garlic kind of saute for a quick minute. Remember, you don't want to let garlic saute for too long. So next we're going to add in our 1 cup of black beans and our 1 cup of rice. Alright, let me be right back. Alright, never realized how hard it was to film with just one hand and cook at the same time. Alright. So we put our rice and our black beans. Now we're just kind of mixing everything up, getting the sofrito and the garlic mixed up with the rice and beans. Now another tip for a great congri is if you can, let those black beans sit overnight in the fridge, and all those flavors and seasonings, they can be able to marinate and come together, and it's going to make your congri a lot more flavorful. But I want to go ahead and just make a pot for y'all. That way y'all can see it all at once. Alright. So now that that's mixed, we're going to just go ahead and add our bean stock. Remember, we have 2 cups. Anytime you're making rice over the stove, you're going to use about 2 cups of liquid to 1 cup of rice. Alright. We're going to go ahead and mix that up. And we're going to bring this up to a boil. Now this is the time, go ahead, try the stock. Just take a little try of it and see if it needs any more seasoning. Whatever this stock tastes like is eventually what your rice is going to taste like. So, you know, taste it. If you need a little bit more salt, peppers, you know, chili flakes, whatever you need, go ahead, try it now and add some. Mine is pretty good. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more salt, but pretty good. Go ahead and let this come to a boil. All right, now our beans are coming to a boil. We're going to mix it one last time. Make sure to go from the bottom and kind of fold it up like that, just so the rice on the bottom doesn't burn. You take a piece of foil and put it on top, and then get our lid and close it down on there. This is gonna kind of make a good steamer. Just make sure you put the lid on pretty tight on there. All right. Now on your oven, you're gonna turn it down to your lowest setting and set your timer for 20 minutes. In these 20 minutes, do not touch this lid. Don't open it, don't mess with it, don't touch with it, leave it alone. 20 minutes. Alright, so our timer went off, so what we're gonna do, just turn the heat off. We're not gonna open the lid yet. Let it sit with the heat off for about 5 minutes. Just give it a little bit more time to steam. Then we're gonna open the pot and you'll be able to see the final result. Alright, mi gente, my 5 minutes is up. And there it is. This is our Cuban congri. Just rice and beans all cooked together in one pot. But like I was saying, if you use just a regular can of black beans, your rice won't come out kind of this dark color. It'll be more whitish, grayish type of color. So if you don't mind that, but you want it and you want it in a hurry, you're more than welcome to do that. You know, whatever works for you and your folks. But just know that it won't be kind of the same exact color versus if you would use fresh black beans. So mi gente, I thank y'all for joining me for another episode for 2 recipes this time around. And as always, buen provecho.